All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for coming today. My name is Taylor with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today, we are going over creating an email signature, adding that to your KW email, and creating a social post. Feel free as we go to throw any questions you have in the chat. I'm going to do my best to watch for those and answer as we go along. If we have time at the end of class, I'll breeze through all of them again just to make sure I answered everything. I'm also going to put our email in the chat box for you. So if you have questions you think of later, or if we don't have time at the end to revisit, you can always email us and we're happy to take a look at your account or answer any questions you have about how the system works. We can also send over any tip videos or recent classes that we have on a specific topic if that is helpful to your question as well. So we're going to start by logging into Command. So agent.kw.com. All right, and once you're logged in here, we are actually going to navigate to designs. So if you're not familiar, you can click on the red KW in the upper left-hand corner, and that will pop out the names of each icon for the menu. So you don't have to hover over each one to guess or to figure out where you're going. And we're going to select designs. Now this page is going to look different for everyone. These are the designs that you have recently used. So if you have not touched designs at all, this is probably going to be blank for you. If you've clicked on any designs, even if you haven't edited them, but you've gone into the editor with them, they will likely appear here for you. We're going to create design. And for email signature and social post, both of these will be in the social category. We do have additional classes that go into these other categories throughout the month. So you can either come to that class when we teach it, or you can check out our recent classes on those topics on our YouTube channel. But we're going to select social and then continue. And that's going to bring us into the WeBrand editor. And this will likely drop you into the templates, which is where you'll see this information. And I'm first going to actually go over updating your brand assets. So this is going to be your frequently used items that you can easily swap out in a design rather than having to upload any images or logos every time, or text even. You can swap out text boxes. So I'll show you how to set that up. For those of you that just joined, welcome. And so far, all we have done is logged into Command and accessed designs, created a new design, and now we're going to update our assets. So once you're here, you can actually upload colors and fonts. So I'll show you when we get into actually creating the design, but there is already the KW color palette loaded into each account for agents. But if you have a different color palette that you use, if you're on a team that has different colors in their marketing, you can upload those here. Same thing with fonts. There are already a bunch that are loaded for you in the system. But if there's none that you frequently use, you can try to add those here. Some of them may or may not be compatible. So if you do try to do that and are getting an error, feel free to email us and we can take a look for you, but just make a note that this might not be a font that's available in the system. Images is next, which images, text, and logos, the next three, are kind of the main sections that we see often. So this is going to be likely where your headshot goes. You'll see I have a bunch of duplicates, so I'm going to delete those. Anyway, so uploading your images here, you can simply upload image, and then you have all of these options for browsing where your photo is stored, or you can drag and drop from your desktop, or if you have the photo open in a different window, you can just drag and drop there. And now this is going to be a section where I will show you, you can easily swap out the photo that you want to use. Text boxes. A lot of times we see this is mainly with your personal information, because in marketing pieces, you're adding your name, your phone number, your email, that type of stuff as frequently used sections, but there are a ton of options here. So if you add text, you'll see there's different labels here. So you can choose any of these. You have our social media links or KW website. You can have your about me or your biography if you want that in there. If what you want in here is not there, you can select other. You can label it whatever you want. Enter what you want it to say and save. And now you have another text box here. Again, once we get into actually editing the design, I will show you how you can swap that out. But this way you don't have to copy and paste these items into each design. Logos is next. And this is a good spot if you're on a team or if you have your own branded logo, you can add that here. I have a generic KW logo here, but I'm going to also show you guys how to download all available logos for your KW office. So we're going to go to My KW. So if you're not familiar, that's mykw.kw.com. And right here at the top is marketing in the main menu section. And when you select that, logos and branding is the first category here that you can select. And that's going to drop you into KW Connect logos and branding section. And if you scroll down just a tad, you'll find Market Center logos. Here, you can type in either your Market Center name or the number. And download. And that's going to open up a zip file. So once you have this download, we're going to click on it and open it. All right. And this is what it's going to look like. You have different folders here. So let me open that other screen back up so I can show you guys what I'm doing. All right. So then coming back to designs in Command, we're going to upload logos here. And then I'm going to just click in to each of these folders from the file we just downloaded. And we're going to select the PNGs. So these actual images here. And then drag and drop. And I'm going to do that with each folder. Now this is going to give you different color schemes. So some of these will have white text, some of them will have black text. You'll notice some of them have red in it. So once you get all of those and upload, we're going to close that. And now we have all of the available logos with different backgrounds. So like it might be hard to see, but on this one, there's a white background around the logo, where this one has the checkered pattern. That means that it's a transparent background. So if I were to put this on a blue block of color, then that will be the background to what is this logo. Same thing with these white text with the gray letters. There's a transparent background. So essentially there is no background color. So it's going to appear however you add that. And then these last three are not used as much as the last three we just went over. But Elements is for like stickers or icons that you might use frequently. Videos. So when you're creating like social designs, you could actually upload a video. So if you have maybe like a introduction to you and your business, and it's a video instead of just text, you can add that here. Or files that you include in your marketing. All right, going back now to templates. We are going to, let me minimize a lot of these. We're going to Business Basics over here on the left-hand side, and we're going to select email signatures. And then here are the two that are available as templates. And once you know which one you want to use, you just click on it. And now we're going to start personalizing it. So selecting the image. I'm trying not to go too fast here while it's still loading. All right. So now you'll notice on the left-hand side that we're already in the images section here. So when we've selected the image we want to replace, you can either add an image. So you can pull images directly from here. You can drag and drop your image if you haven't uploaded it yet. Or if you come over here, you'll see My Assets. So that's going to pull up the images that you have in the assets that we just sent this. If you email our support email, which I can add to the chat again, it may have been posted before you popped on. If you email us, we can either get you this recording once it's uploaded, or we can get you last month's recording. It's up to you. And then can we add the video on Smart Plans? So with Smart Plans, you can either, if you're trying to send an email, you can add the video to an email in Designs, but that's a different editor. So that would be under email. So our class email campaigns actually goes over creating an email that can either be added to campaigns or smart plans. So adding it to assets wouldn't necessarily affect that because it's a different way of creating it. But yes, if you do have that video, you can add that to an email that can go out on a smart plan. If you have questions on that, I know I didn't explain it very well, but you can also email us and we are happy to go over that as well. All right, so once we've selected our image and now we're under My Assets because we just uploaded what we want to use, you can either use image, which is going to throw it in here randomly that you then have to adjust, or you can replace image, and then that's going to fit it in the already populated template. And you can still reposition it. So if it didn't add the way that you wanted it to, you can always hit reposition up here at the top. Select the image, reposition. And then from there, you can drag and drop it. You can change the size if you want to. Yes, again, if you're asking for the recording, it takes about a day. We try to get them uploaded to our YouTube channel by end of day when they're recorded, but it depends on processing time. So if you email us, we can either get you that recording once it's uploaded, or we can get you the last month's recording where we went over the same process. All right, so then going through here, we're going to select our logo. And you'll notice it automatically populated to logos over here on the left instead of images. Here you have generic ones that's what Workspace is. So Workspace in all of these categories are actually what KW provides agents in their system, so you don't have to upload it. So these are generic Keller Williams logos. You have labs, miscellaneous. So you do have National Association of Realtor logos and Equal Housing Opportunity logos. The KW Luxury logos and events. So this is mostly Red Day. But if you go to My Assets, now we can select any of these options. So if I were to select this one, it has a white background, but the way it's formatted, it goes to the edge, my KW blends in. So for this one, I can either change the background color, selecting the box here, and then I went to the fill color. Template is things that you've used before or that are already in this template, but library colors, this gives you the color palettes that are in your assets or Workspace main palette. So this is the Keller Williams palette. Now, if I wanted to change that, I can. The other option, going back to red, is choosing a different logo. And now I take away that white background. This is the transparent one. So I like the looks of that better. Canva is actually a third-party platform, so that I don't know. Frame a logo. Yes, so there are frames that you can use. So that's mostly just the shape though. Let's say can you frame a logo in black or white? I'm not quite sure what it is you're looking for, but I'm gonna guess. So adding a shape, this is what I do if I want to kind of makeshift a background. So adding a shape, I'm gonna go with a rectangle, and then I'm going to change the fill color to white. And stroke color is actually what the outline color is. So let's say I wanted that to be black, but then I also want it to be thicker so you can see it. Just move that and then put it over my image and arrange. I'm going to send backwards so that it is behind the image. And now I can adjust it to what I want it to look like. And if you didn't want the white behind it, you can remove it. So right next to apply on the color option, instead of actually having a fill color, you can remove that, apply, and now it's just an outline. So that's another option depending on the logo you're choosing on how you want it to look. Moving now to the text box here for first and last name. Again, my assets, you can directly type in the box. So I double clicked, I'm adding my name. Another option is selecting the typewriter function here. So if you do that, it'll actually pop open the text box over here. You can make your edits, save changes, and then that updates here. There is the option here, again, text. You can add any of these type of text boxes and it'll throw it in there randomly for you to adjust. The font will be different, the color will be different, the size will be different. So if you're wanting to stick to the template, just like with images, under text, there is my assets, where you can come over here and replace text. We're gonna show that replace text. We'll make that edit without changing the size, font, or style of the text box. License number. I don't have that saved in my text box, so that's probably a good thing to add. And I'm going to leave that because I don't know mine off the top of my head. And then address. So this is the office address. So for me, I have these in two separate text boxes. So I can choose to just manually type all of this information in if I want to keep this text box, or I can replace the first box and have that. And then over here, right next to the remove button, so be careful, is duplicate. So with the text box selected, I can duplicate that. And that's going to keep the address text the same, so I don't have to try to recreate it. And then I can replace the next line. So that's one way to do it, depending on how you have it set up and how you want it to look. I'm just trying to give you guys all of the options. Here we have download my app. So this is another place where you can swap that out with your app code. I've seen other agents add a QR code of their app. So taking that, you would just add the image. So once you've created it, or if you want us to create it, you can email us. We're happy to do that. And then once you have the image, you can drag and drop it here. Wow, words are hard, guys. And then you'll be able to add it. Much like if you have a team logo, you want to add that in. My reds are not going to match and it's going to drive me crazy. So bear with me, guys. Fill color, we're going to make that white. And then again, arrange it. Send backwards. And now we have our team or branded logo on our signature as well. Yes, Gwen, you do have an app. It's the Keller Williams app, so the like home search app, but is how to find and set up our app recorded. So it should already be set up for you, especially if you're new. If we have time at the end of class, I will also run through how to find that. But it's on your consumer tab. So really quickly, in the main command platform, rather than designs, if you go to the last icon on the left-hand side, it's consumer. So that's where your website and app information can be found. And then I believe it's under site and app settings, kind of in the right-hand corner. Then you'll find URLs, and that'll give you your website URL and your app code that you can copy. All right, so then this next text box is full of information. So it's one text box with all of this. So if I were to come over to text and go to my assets, let's say I'm like, oh, I want to switch out my mobile number and I'm going to add that and replace text. That's actually, if I do that, going to remove everything else other than the text I'm replacing it with. So undo. This is one where if I want to keep this layout, I'm going to manually want to type this information. All right. Now from here, once we're satisfied with all of the information and how it looks, and we're ready to add this to our email, you're going to download. And you're going to want the PNG image. And then we're going to download. And now we have our image here. So next thing, you can go directly into your KW email. However, what we've found is if you're trying to email from your account on your phone, if you add this directly into your settings as it is, it won't appear on any of your emails from your phone. So this is what we recommend. It's not required, so bear with me, but this is just what we recommend. Is going to IMGUR. It's an image hosting site. So imgur.com, and then you're going to create a new post. Now, we're going to add this here. So I just dragged and dropped it. So now our email signature is hosted on this site. So now I'm going to download this post. And we have a new image here. And then in a separate window, I have my KW email open. I'll give you guys just a second to log into that if you need to. So I just went to Gmail, typed in my full KW email and the password associated with the account. And then in the upper right-hand corner is settings, and we're going to go to see all settings. You should be dropped into the general section of your settings. So going now to the bottom, how about that, guys? Near the bottom is signature, which likely now looks like mine, has no signatures, unless you've already set one up. But we are going to create new, and I'm going to name it KW signature. Create. And now we are going to insert an image. And then upload. And I'm going to make sure to grab the IMGUR image. And this is a little tiny box, so don't mind that, but it's in there. And then making sure to set your defaults. So you'll want to change this so that when you create new emails, your KW signature is selected. And when you reply or forward an email, and then save changes. And now when we compose a new email, our signature is there. All right, guys, now that we're done with that, I'm going to move on to creating a social post and show you guys how you can add that. So in order to add a social post, first thing you're going to want to do is in your settings. So clicking on your name in the upper right-hand corner. And settings. There's a couple more questions in the chat. Are the links clickable or live on that signature? So because this is an image, it is not. HTML signatures are something totally different. So if you email us, we can look into that for you and give you some options that we recommend. Is that where you would also add the disclosures as well? Yes, so if you're in a state that requires disclosures in all of your email signatures, that is also where you can add that. I think I completely closed out of it, but next to the image is where you can, the option where I selected image in order to add that picture. is a link option as well, where you can add the URL and what you need it to say. You can also, again, email us with the information, and we're happy to get that uploaded for you if you're in one of those states. Okay, so in your settings, this is your integrations page. So you'll notice I have post scheduling Facebook connected and ads manager. So this is the paid ads connection. But if you want to just use schedule post to a page rather than paid ads, you'll want to make sure that this connection is there. You have Instagram as well, Twitter. So just following these connect account prompts will help you get that set up. All right, and then once that's connected, we're going to go back to designs, create a design and social. So let's say we want to create one for an open house that we're doing. Under listings is open house templates. You can also do auto create open house, and that's going to just prompt you for the information. So if you did that, whichever one of these you select, it's going to open up prompts with the details of your open house, and then it's going to program that for you. But I'm going to walk you through updating it. So there are a ton of templates. If you scroll, they should start popping up and loading. But up top here, there's also different size categories. So here, if you select which size you want, it'll limit or filter the images. So social wide, it gives you kind of a different platforms based on the size you chose that this will work for. So if you chose a social wide image, you'll notice Instagram is not on this. So if you're trying to post to Instagram and Facebook, perhaps, you'll want to make sure to select social square, because that is the size where Instagram is accepted. If you create a social wide and try to post that on Instagram, the edges are going to cut off so that it's just a square of what you created in the middle. If you select stories because you want to add this to your social media story, that should work for either platform where that's available. All right, going through open house, we're going to use, and a lot of this is going to be similar to editing like we did on the last one, but I'm going to show you how to pull up specific listing information. Once that loads, if I get too click happy, it'll start messing up on me. All right, so on the left-hand side is KWLS. You select that, you can look for a specific listing so that you have all of this information that you can switch out, just like when you're selecting text for assets. So I'm going to search by MLS number because we found that that's more accurate than address. It pulls up less options. And then once we have the address that we want to use, first thing, it has photos or listing details. So I'm going to select the image here and replace. And then I'm going to switch over to listing details. and I'm going to start switching out this information. However, notice this text box includes listed at. So if I selected the current price and replaced it, that's going to remove the text other than what is in there. Oops. Looks like that didn't cooperate with my undo button. Social post is an unpaid ad. So social post is posting directly to one of your pages. It's not technically an ad unless that's just what you're calling a post, like if you're trying to advertise something, but it's not classified as an ad to social media. So it's just posting to your profile. So then for this, selecting the text box, this is going to be one where I want to manually adjust this number. And scrolling here for these details. Update that. And the square footage. And I'm just looking at the details over here, but manually typing them in. Open house. And then this is one text box here. Oops. There we go. And then switching out the logo. Again, my asset logos. Replace. Oops. Accidentally did that. So we're going to select that again. Replace. And get that adjusted. There we go. So updated all of the information. The other cool thing that I'm going to show you is animations. So this works for social posts, or I guess paid ads, but basically the social media piece. You're not going to have animation ability if you're creating a print material. So you can add animation to the entire page, and you can change how long it lasts. Or you can have certain elements. So if I just wanted this text box, you can select that as well. Connie asked a great question. In advertising, don't we need to be sensitive to font size / boldness of broker name versus agent? That is a great question for the compliance coordinator at your office. Each state, each office is going to have different compliance rules. And so in order to make sure that everything is in order for your advertising, double check if you have any questions with that person, just to make sure you're covering your bases. So for this animation, lasted way too long. We're going to play that again. So that's another option when you are creating a post or a story. You can do that. So I'm going to download it just so that I have it. If you have animation, you're going to want to download the video or download it as a video or GIF. Where if you do just an image, it's not going to have that animation. So I'm going to download it just because I have it down here. But once this is ready, since we've already connected that Facebook account, I'm going to use that to show you how to actually schedule it. So the picture that looks like a megaphone is campaigns. So that's where we're going to go. And then here's where you have the options for paid ads, email campaigns, direct mail, or social posts. So for this, we're going to go to social posts. And anything you have scheduled will appear here. You can look at the week calendar or the month. Anything that you have recently posted will be down here. We're going to create campaign. Social post, you'll notice for social ad, it does tell you down here that it's paid. So you'll know if you're going to spend money. So just posting on our connected accounts. You'll have a drop down here for your available pages. Say whatever you want it to say with note of your character limit. And just for compliance, going to check these boxes. However, we have both of these things on our image. Which we need to add. Add media. And here you can either browse files from your computer or browse designs. So I have it downloaded here. I can just drag and drop. However, if I didn't do that, I can browse designs and it's only going to show our social designs. It's not going to show any emails that we've created or any videos. Well, no, that's a lie. It will show if you created a neighborhood video, it'll appear there because you can add those to social. But it's not going to show print. So email and print designs that you've created are not going to show up as available to add to social media as images. You would have to recreate that as a social design in order to add to social media. Usually people create a design and want to add it to an email. We do have a video on how to do that. But if you need assistance in recreating something to be a social image, let us know, email us. We're happy to take a look at that for you. So selecting our image, which is actually a video because I think I saved it with animation. So it might take a second longer to work. Okay, giving you the option now to crop if needed. Okay, so mine did not save as an animated post. So if it did, you would have the option here to preview what it looks like when you play. So we have our text that we want it to say. We have our media. Again, these things should be checked if they're not on your image already. However, we add that, it's going to add that twice. So that's really small print down here. We have it on our image up here. But then also adding your DBA logo. So this is going to pull from the marketing profile in your settings. So if we didn't have this logo here, we could add this to the bottom corner. Hopefully it doesn't line up that way, but you can adjust accordingly if you need to. And then scheduling the post. So I'm going to show you what it looks like to schedule out. Obviously, if I'm doing an open house this weekend, I would want it posted as soon as possible. But maybe you have a specific day. Let's say I chose next weekend and I want to schedule this to be posted on Wednesday. You can do that and then change the time if you want. Let's do 8 a.m. You can publish immediately. However, please make a note that not only does Command have to process your post, but Facebook or whichever platform you're posting to has to also process the post. So it says publish immediately, but that just means begin the process of publishing. It could take up to 24 to 48 hours. So if you're working on something last minute and you're posting it through Command, please keep that in mind. We get a lot of emails from agents that are like, I hit publish immediately, but it's not showing up. It's been an hour. Like, just give it time and it'll show up. Can we add KW and our personal logo? So in this, for compliance, it doesn't give you like those quick selecting options. However, when you're creating your design, yes, just like on the email signature that we created before, I added both the DBA logo for the office as well as my team logo. I was trying to make sure we had time on this design to go through all of it and show you guys this part as well. So I didn't add that as well on this design. All right, and then once we do that, you can schedule post. It's going to give you one last review. And if you selected multiple platforms to post this to, you'll be able to toggle to see what it looks like on both of those. And then schedule. And now you can see that we have a post scheduled to go out on 8 a.m. on this date. You can click on it, preview it. You can see where it's scheduled, who created it, and the connected page it's going to. And I don't actually want to post this, so we're going to delete it. Please keep in mind, if you delete a post from here, there's no way to undo that. However, you still have the design. So you can easily just quickly add that to another post if you did that on accident. All right, guys, I know I went through that pretty quickly, but I want to be mindful of the time so that the people after me that need this account are not waiting on me. So thank you guys so much for coming. Again, if you have questions, email us. I'll put the email in the chat again, so you can take it down if you want to. And if you email us, we'll get you the recording either from this one once it's uploaded or from the last class that we taught going over the same topics. And if you have any questions that I either didn't have time to get to, or if you think of one later, or it's totally off topic and you're just like, oh, I have a question about DocuSign or whatever, email us and we're happy to take a look at that for you. All right, thank you guys so much again for coming, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday.